Carbonite Code is Ross Video's new software-based production switcher built specifically for NDI workflows. It runs on your PC or in the cloud, and it integrates with dashboard, and it follows the workflow similar to larger Ross Carbonite switches. And SKAARHOJ panels support it out of the box with configurations tailored specifically for the Carbonite series. SKAARHOJ panels, they let you choose the ideal form factor from compact to large. They also let you customize controls and directly integrate other devices without any computer in between. SKAARHOJ panels are basically the only game in town when it comes to a universal self-reliant panel for integrated user-friendly control. And although I could have chosen any panel today, we'll be using my personal favorite, the AirFly Pro. So on this panel, I can switch the Carbonite Code, and you see it's happening in the dashboard right here, okay? So pressing preview buttons selects preview row in dashboard. If I press the program row, I am also selecting here. I can do the opposite. I can click around over here, and you'll see it's changing on the AirFly Pro as well. Now, let me try to make a cut. It also cuts inside of dashboard. If I press the auto button, I am getting a transition. And by the way, if I want to affect the frame rate sitting up here, there are ways you can do that from the panel. That's this little four-way button. And notice that's the SKAARHOJ technology. We have a button that accepts presses on different edges and will distinguish between them. So if I press the edge of this button to the left, it is reducing the frame rate. On the right side, it is increasing. So there you go, four-way buttons built into every SKAARHOJ product basically. We also have a T-bar, and it has this wonderful nice LED on OLED display on the side that will tell you the transition progression. We also have buttons for enabling keys up here. So we have key 1, 2, 3, 4, and if I use the shift key, I have access to key 5 and 6. Those are seen in the UI lower left right corner. Let me just press key 2. So now it makes an auto transition for key 2. I can do the same for 3 and for 4, and they are now enabled. Okay, so that's how the keys work. If I want to have a key following the next transition, I'm using these buttons up here. So there we have key number 1. And now let me see here in dashboard. Yes, over there, this part of dashboard shows me now that key number 1 and key number 2, as I just selected it, will be enabled. Yes, when I do the next transition. And that's what we're seeing right now. They are now on. And if I press again, they'll be off, all because I selected them over here, or basically what I just did on these two buttons up here. So you have that control as well. Now let's take a little intermezzo, because I want to show you the UI of the AirFly Pro. I told you it was a self-reliant panel. It means that it doesn't need my computer, except for one thing. If you want to configure it, you need to use a web browser, but you can pull the plug out of your laptop afterwards. This is the UI of the AirFly Pro. It looks like this, and the out-of-the-box configuration is this one. You see, the universal aspect of the panel is that I can choose so many different other switcher products that I can operate. Today, it's the Ross Carbonite configuration we're using. We are connected to a Carbonite Code switcher. On this IP address, it has a device ID called number 1, which is an ID. And what was it I wanted to show you? Yes, what is this little button? See, this is showing and hiding PTC controls. So now we are over in the category of integrating other devices. So I added the JVC PTC camera here as a device. And right now, this panel is connected to the Carbonite Code. It's connected to the PTC camera. No need of a computer in between. And if I click this button, I will now be able to select from my selection of devices. Select. And you see it pops up right here. So now that I select this, I can use the joystick pad and the zoom rocker, and I can use these buttons here and cycle around. I can recall presets, get access to different other menu options, such as focus mode and etc. for that particular PTC camera. Okay, so that's integration. And it comes up by pressing this button that kind of shows and hides that overlay, because we have this amazing configuration engine inside of Reactor that makes it possible. Any kind of combination of things. Let's continue on the Ross Carbonite side of things, okay? We'll come back to Reactor in a moment, but I want to show you around into this config too. So transition type is another thing we could look at. we are currently on the dissolve, and that's also reflected in the UI, but I can change to wipe, to DVE, to media, and just like you see, if I press those buttons in the UI here, I see that dashboard is accommodating to my choice, so I can make some modifications of settings, etc. for those choices. Now, Carbonite Code has multiple MEs. We are currently on the main ME, but we also have ME number 1 and ME number 2. And how do I operate those on this panel? Well, there's a little button here in the corner. Again, it's a 4-way button, so if I press on the side, it jumps up to ME number 1, and that is where we are here. So if I select around, if I use the program row, if I do a cut, you see changes is happening to ME number 1. I can go to ME number 2, and if I go to ME number 2 over here, same thing is happening. I am now operating that ME row. Little pro tip, if you press and hold the button, you have basically a selector of the ME right there on those buttons. Press and hold, pops up, you select the ME, all right? Now, other things in this menu up here is the bus button. And if you select that one, we have access to selecting sources for keys and sources for auxiliary buses. So let's just pick auxiliary bus number 1. And to see the reflection inside of dashboard, we go to aux bus here and we pick aux bus number 1. And then this little white field indicates which source is currently on aux, which we already knew because that is also shown on this button. Camera number 3. Okay, so let's just pick camera number 1 over here, and it changes down to camera number 1. If we pick camera number 5, it changes inside of dashboard. What else would you expect? Now, moving on to auxiliary 4, let's just do that. We pick auxiliary 4 here. You see, one of the cool things about the panel is that you can basically navigate around. In the UI, you will also have to select like what auxiliary that you're looking at. And now we are at auxiliary 4. 5, 6, 7. Those cameras are selected on auxiliary 4. Okay, you got the point. Now, the keyer, or the video for the keyers, is selected on these buttons. So here you select the aux bus. Here you are selecting which keyer you are assigning video sources to. So now it's keyer number 3. And to see that in dashboard, we will go back to this one. Select keyer number 3 right there. And now we'll see in this row, the assignment of a source to a keyer did not exactly pop up as I imagined, but I was on the wrong one. So let's just go back. We are now at the right place. All right, so now you're seeing this little square is jumping around as I'm pressing buttons on my AirFly Pro. Guys, audio is another field we can move into, so let's just go back. But before that, I want to highlight a thing that I covered in another video, which is custom controls. And in custom controls, you basically can address which banks are available inside of dashboard up to bank number 8, and you can recall custom controls, which are essentially macros. But I won't go into it in this video. I covered it in another one, but I just quickly want to show you audio as well, because in audio, which we can see in dashboard through this custom view, we can actually work with the audio. So this becomes a selector row in that case. And now we are selecting audio number 1. So that's the first bus we see in dashboard right here. All right, let's just press the buttons up here. So this is now our controls. And I can turn on and off audio follow video. I can mute the source. I can adjust the balance. So if you look right there, we have the balance is adjusted. Again, this is a 4-way button. So I can just press the edges of it to adjust the balance of the audio. I also have the ability to change, to adjust the audio volume here. Over here, I have the similar ability to make adjustments to the main. And I can choose different audio channels. So if we now go to audio number 3, I can also turn on and off audio follow video and muting for that channel, etc. So that's all available here. Will it substitute an audio board? No, it will not. So if you are interested in having like motorized faders, you should go for the wave board, which is an addition that will sit so beautifully and nicely next to your AirFly Pro on left, right side or separate from it, because that has motorized faders for your audio channels. But for convenience reasons, we made it possible on the AirFly Pro. So there you go, you have audio control in here. The way we navigate here is you use the shift key to go back, and now you have like your main menu selection of which of these different functionalities that you have mapped out onto these buttons. That's basically how it works. I promised you, at this point, we want to take a quick look at how we can customize. So let's go back to Reactor, the application running on the AirFly Pro, and we go to the configuration tab. And now we see a view of the AirFly Pro as it looks right now. Actually, if I press the cut button on the panel, you see it's changing here. So we have sort of our own dashboard, if you will, but it's a view faithful to the layout of the AirFly Pro, and that's how any panel inside of Reactor on any SKAARHOJ product basically looks. All the others as well. Now, in this UI, if I wanted to change a functionality on any of these buttons, let me see, what would that be? It could be, let's take one of the keys. So if I click this button over here, you see it calls up in the inspector that we are ME key auto, and it's a trigger action and so on. So I could basically change that if I want by editing the settings of it. So that's one way you can go about it, but you can also choose to make a user section. And I'll propose that you go in this direction, because then you get a paging paradigm that allows you to add like page number 2. And let's say that I add this additional page and I click the page. You'll see that you basically have a blank page on your AirFly Pro. If I go back and forth between background and page number 2, you can see that I'm switching. Basically on page number 2, I have the whole panel mapped out for my own custom control. So I can go nuts right there. So let's just for fun do that. And then on this button here, I would have a shutbox button that addresses, that's a trigger action. So essentially, I think this is recalling a custom control, so a macro. And in this case, macro number 1, but let's do macro number 10 from bank number 3. I think you get the point. It's now mapped down onto this button. And the way I could then shift in and out of this would be to use one of my user buttons here. So let's pick this user button number 2. So if I go back to my background layer, which is transparent and is basically showing me the controller as it is right now, I could select the user button. I could then create navigation. So select page. And when I select the page, I want to go to page number 2. All right, so when I am on page number 2, I want to do kind of similar thing, namely that on this button, I want to go back to my background. So I'll just do that, and it's all in place right now. I can now customize the whole AirFly Pro. You see I have one function, that is my recall of the custom control, but I can go back to my background by pressing this button, and I can go to my page number 2, which of course I can rename and do all kinds of things for. So with Reactor, with AirFly Pro and any SKAARHOJ product, you can out of the box be in business in a few minutes, but you can also from there customize, add all your custom controls for a specific show or in general, whatever you want to do. It's all found inside the panel. No additional computers needed. It's all in there, and it works with many different switches, and it definitely works with Ross Carbonite series and Carbonite Code in particular. Thanks for watching this video. If you are interested in more information about SKAARHOJ products, please like and subscribe to this YouTube channel. We have multiple videos coming out every single month. We also have a newsletter. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, and we have X as channels, social media channels where you can follow us. You can also reach out to our sales and support team anytime you want to talk to a human being from SKAARHOJ. Thanks for watching.